All right, so general question, as I said, for both you guys. Social media's obviously become, not just in society, a huge part of what people do on a daily basis, but certainly for athletes, getting athletes in touch, coaches in touch with fans, the community, the media, whatever it is. For you as a student athlete and for you as a coach in college, how has that influenced the way that women's basketball has functioned for you? For you going from high school into college, getting recruited, and for you as a coach recruiting new players?
Okay, so I guess like when I was getting recruited in high school, you would have a lot of coaches who would like reach out through Twitter, which was pretty big, and since they really couldn't talk to us like on phone for the most part, like I know one of my old assistant coaches who used to work here at Ferrara, like he would come and like message me like, hey Sid, how's your day going, blah blah. So it's just a tool to kind of communicate when you don't want to be on the phone for hours upon hours. But then once we got to college, it kind of told us like the importance of like, it's like now you're building your brand. So what you put on social media is like what reflects of yourself, and not just yourself, but like your university and the people in athletics and on campus. So, it's more than just, oh, Sydni Epps, the women's basketball player. It's Sydni Epps, the Hofstra women's basketball player. So, gotta watch what you say. Can't really put anything that's going to be, I mean, you can, but it's just going to look like a negative light on you. So, it's all about building your brand now, and even after college, because your employers are going to look at what you put on social media. Your boss is going to see everything that's out there, and even your family. Like now, you're a reflection of your family as well as your employer and people who are around you. So it's more than just like, hey, I'm just a normal person, because you're not when you're an athlete. So
this is why she's the SAC president here at Hofstra University and many other accolades. I think as a coach, it's changed in recruiting. Like she had mentioned about me using that tool when I was recruiting her. I can still pull up on her Twitter some of the statements I made years ago. Well, now we have unlimited calls, so it's moved away, I think, more so as a recruiting tool. Now you use it to find out things about your recruits. And her comment about things that you put out there that you can't take back, and it does this reflection on you. So if you're recruiting someone, you are digging up everything that you can find out, to find out their character, to find out, what they do. I mean, it's making a mistake is small in quote unquote your development, but not necessarily small when someone is judging you based on, your little information that we know to get to know somebody. So I think that's what I use that for more so now, is finding about players. And what their likes, what's their dislikes, what they're involved in, and whether or not they're going to represent what I want them to represent here at Hofstra. I think that's helped me better in recruiting. I don't think we utilized that, didn't have that in the years past as much, didn't have access to things like we had, so you can find out more about people. So I think that part is huge. And then for me, I think I'm probably not the best at building a brand to me as a head coach on Twitter. I just try to use it as a way to talk about our games and be proud of my group. And, you want people to find out about your personality as a coach. Again, I probably could use that a little bit more, but I just usually like it to, just be proud of my team and proud of what we're accomplishing here at Hofstra, and a lot about Hofstra University.
Now, do you go outside of Twitter to look at players as you recruit them? Do you go to Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, a lot of the international players use Facebook a lot more than the players here in the States. Instagram, we don't have access to Snapchat. People do have Snapchat accounts. I do not, but Instagram now is more, personal. The posters, the pictures. I've had coaches tell me on the road, like too many selfies. A player that does way too many selfies, or just really just trying to present themselves too much can be casting a negative light. I know I have a very good friend does a lot of broadcasting and everything, and she had gotten very upset with her son when he had a red Solo cup in one of his pictures. Even though the red Close-Up could have water in there, a red Solo cup does not represent, water. So, it's just so many things that you can, right or wrong, whether we're right or wrong, we are, we're trying to find out what your makeup is, what kind of person you are, and then the things you put out there, you're going to be held accountable, and you're going to be judged whether you like it or not, whether you think it's fair or not.
Have you ever looked at a player and initially had a certain vision of them, how they were as a person, as a player, maybe even more importantly, how they were as a player and their talent, and then investigated, saw something that they posted, you don't have to give a name obviously, but then you saw something that was posted online and kind of changed your mind a bit?
Oh yeah, we've had several recruits that were on our list in the last few years and Coach Khan is probably the best person to do Twitter trolling.
Oh yeah.
Way better
So
than
good
me.
at Twitter
Way better
trolling.
than me. Way better than me. So I got to hire good people around you. And there was a lot of red flags that pulled people off, and the person did not come here. So, you kind of wish I had that 7 years ago. Like really had it when you first got started. You wouldn't have made quite as many recruiting mistakes. Because it's a mistake. If it's the kind of person that you can't coach, maybe somebody else has more tolerance. And we've had some folks you can't tolerate, and I'd rather not have to beat my head against the wall with somebody that doesn't want to conform, and try to do our best, find folks that just want to conform, want to be better, and want to win. It's really not hard, but sometimes in kids' young life, they make things a lot more difficult, and social media helps you try to figure out that mental part of, how they're shaped.
Sydney, when you got here to Hofstra, you briefly mentioned it before, did they put you through a training class of some sort
Yeah.
that to kind of give you an idea for social media?
So James Lawley, our leadership and career development mentor, I guess you could say, he does a lot of different things like 20-minute Tuesdays, which are also a part of our student athletic, like building your brand. So he has like 4 different PowerPoints that he goes through. One is building your brand, how to like reflect on yourself on social media, what's next after college, just like different things to kind of get your mind prepared, starting from freshman year all the way until like you're a senior. So like leadership development PowerPoints, and so we had one that was about social media and just like kind of pointed out all those things that I kind of said, like, oh, are you posting the right picture? Are you saying the right things? Can this be a negative context back on you that reflects back on you? So that we just have a lot of different leadership development things that we get offered and shown to throughout like our course of being here at Hofstra.
So it starts as a freshman and goes all the way through?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you say when you went from high school and were recruited into college here at Hofstra, or whoever else was recruiting you, would you say that Twitter and social media actually did help you get recruited, or was it just another tool for communication?
I think it was just another tool as communication, just to kind of, for coaches to kind of see who I am as a person and kind of see my family, who they might not have, seen if it wasn't for social media, or like, if they didn't come directly to like a home visit or to see my family in school or anything like that. So it kind of helps to like show your personality, who you are as a person. So I guess it kind of just gave coaches another outlook to see how Sid was funny or like what Sid posted on social media. But for the most part, that's all it really did.
And for the content, and
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
discussing it there, is it like a mix? Do they try to tell you that when you go to those classes? Like it's a couple funny things here,
Yeah.
then it's about the team.
So, I mean, for it all depends on how you want to be perceived, I feel. So, like, on my social media, like on my Instagram, you'll see basketball posts, you'll see pictures of my family, you'll see accolades that I have achieved, or you'll just see pictures of me and my friends, like, but I try not to, like, post anything, like, too, where it's, like, maybe too raunchy, or, like, anything that might be, like, okay, this is not really the best representation of, like, yourself. So, I'm a family-oriented person, so I feel like if that's how you are, that's how you'll perceive yourself on social media. If you're not that way, then it won't be perceived.
Would you agree? Is Sydney a good example?
Oh, great example.
That does it the right way?
Completely. Yes. Don't have to go text her early in the morning and say, take that down from the late night text.
Well, freshman year I did, freshman year you're learning, so I'm not going to say I'm like perfect person on social media, but, so freshman year you're learning, first year on campus, didn't know that I couldn't post certain things. So, Bill Farrar, our old assistant coach, one night me and a former graduate were like, on Twitter going back and forth, and he was like, hey Sid, can't post that. I was like, all right, I'll take it down right now. So it's just an open communication. Once you make a mistake, you learn from it. So I never really had that problem again, but like,
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad. It was just,
no.
but it's like,
But I mean, you can even be on a tangent about something you were unhappy with,
Right.
and it might not be the appropriate time to discuss that.
Right.
That's not the platform. If,
Right.
if you're unhappy, if there's some discrimination going on
Right.
between sports or
and it was about sporting events.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you really, that's not the platform to publicly start,
Right.
slashing, something.
Right.
And I think that's where people, you get your emotions and you want to express it. That's the part that I don't truly understand and appreciate with social media, because I'm the old school where yes, you need to seek help if you literally have something you need to seek help for, and you need to have your friends or your family and find ways to express maybe how you're feeling. But just to have a microphone that you're splitting out, and whether it's 120 words, whatever it is on Instagram, and you're the only one that is screaming it out, and you're not getting feedback, I just think those kind of platforms, and I see it with my age group on Facebook, the things that people put on Facebook, and it makes my skin crawl. I'm not the best for social media. Like, we had my 19th anniversary, and so I have my personal Facebook account, and I was going to joke with my husband, because we've seen so many friends, family, lots of family, write 3 pages of their beloved husband or their beloved wife. So I was teasing Chuck. I was like, oh, 19 years of marriage, I'm going to put my wonderful husband. He goes, if you put that, I'm going to strangle you. So, people do, kudos for them. I'm not judging you to be whatever. It's just so funny. Like, I just think social media, if it's used appropriately, it can be a very effective tool. When it's used just for you to express your emotions, or maybe it's your therapy and you're just blasting the world, or you're using it for negative terms, which we've seen a lot, whether you're you're just hearing yourself speak. Yeah, you might get someone to give you some banter back, but at the end of the day, it's all you got to do is you're listening to yourself. So it's pretty selfish, I think, in that respect, if you look at it that way. If too many people that are splattering on Twitter, it could be a little self-absorbed, is the way I look at it.